Okay, we are going to get started with June Club Q. And these are kind of fun this month for travel pages or any kind of adventure. We have lots of fun, bright colored summer pages coming up. These ones are a little more kind of an antique travel with antique pages. So we are using, for Powder Puff Chalking Inks, Chocolate Malt, Navy, and April Showers. Those are the ones that are suggested, but I'm actually going to add a little bit of orange into mine, and some greens, and I'm not sure if I even have a dark blue here. Oh, I have deep sea, I think. So you grab whatever colors you want for yours. If you want a much more antique look, you can also use amaretto or roots, or what else do we have? Rustic acorn, maybe. Anyway, there's lots of different colors that you can use for this, and we are going to go ahead and get started. The couple of things that I want to show you before we get too far is we're going to do the cutting diagrams first, but I want you to see this background. One of the backgrounds is from the die cut. So this, I punched out the die cuts in the center here. We're going to use this page for a background. And this page is going to be solid. And then the other aqua colored page, light blue, is going to be cut into pieces. So I just wanted to mention that before you throw this outer piece away, because we are actually using it as a background. This kit is really simple. We are going to do the cutting diagrams first. And most of the stuff is actually die cut for you or laser cut for you. So there's some easy cutting diagrams here. But there's not a lot of little intricate cutting. We are going to take our luggage paper and cut it straight across in half. And you want it at 6 inches. So turn it sideways and cut at 6 inches. So you have these two pieces that are going to go across the middle of your page. We'll set those aside for now. The next one, we are going to cut the tan with little diamonds on it at 3 inches. And just keep moving that down, and we'll have 4 pieces at 3 inches. So there's 4 pieces, and they're 3 by 12. Set those aside, and then your last cutting diagram is this aqua paper, and we are going to cut this 4-inch piece off and cut it into 4 by 6s, 2 4 by 6s. So we're going to put it in at 4 inches. And it doesn't really matter which way you have the paper turned. Most of this is going to be covered up with photos anyway once you get it on your page. We'll cut that at 4 inches. And then we turn this one and cut it at 6 so that we have 2 4 by 6 inch pieces. The big piece that's left over, we are going to cut a 5.5 by 7.5. So I'm actually going to do the 5.5 first here. And I think I'm going to do it with this side. There we go. So 5.5 inches over. And if I'm going too fast, just go ahead and hit pause and get caught up. We're going to turn it this way and cut cut it at 7.5. And we have this little scrap left over. So we have a 5.5 by 7.5. Now the leftover big piece, we are going to cut to 3.25 by 4. So I'm going to turn it this way and cut it at 4 inches. So we got 4 inches, and then we'll turn it and cut it at 3.25 by 3.25. And then that's the only cutting diagrams we have. This is a leftover piece, so you can go ahead and get rid of that. Or hang on to it for another tag or photo mat. You can add another photo mat to the page if you want to. But we got the cutting grid diagram out of the way. And we can start layering the page. Oh, actually, you know what? I still need my trimmer. I've got, there's a couple pieces here. There is a 3.5 by 11 tan paper. We need to cut that one into 5.5 inches. So it's already cut at 3.5. We need to turn it this way and cut it at 5.5. Sorry, I forgot about that cut. So you have 3.5 by 5.5. And the only other thing that you need to trim is the outside of your little journaling sheet there. And that's all the cutting. And we are going to just start layering this up here. Grab my glue. And we have some pretty skinny laser pieces, so I'm using the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue because these skinny little lasers, they're kind of hard to get enough glue on the back there, and really once we get going you'll see that I just use a little dot here and there, but this precision tip here just is, I know I talk about it every video because I love it, but it just makes it very easy to add your embellishments. Okay, so to get started, we are going to sew your 4 strips, 3-inch strips. We're going to use those first, and we're going to do both pages at the same time. If you would like to chalk things up as you go, just go ahead and grab your chalks, hit pause whenever you need to, and get it chalked up. I'm actually going to use Mango Mai Tai and add a little bit of orange in there instead of a antique brown, just to brighten mine up a little bit. But I do really like the antique color also, so you grab what you want to chalk these up. There's a little bit of kind of peach in the luggage paper, so I'm just kind of playing off of that. And I probably won't chalk all of these up as we go, but you go ahead and hit pause and chalk them up as you want to. The first thing that we are going to do is on your frame picture, we are going to just put glue on the edge. You just need a few dots and a few across the top down the edge. You don't want to put it across the middle or the bottom because then it'll stick to your table. And this goes 1/2 inch from the top of your page. So 1/2 inch from the top of your page, The next one goes a 1/2 inch from the bottom, and then you do the same to the other. Just remember to put this only across the bottom and the sides on the one that you're doing on the frame. So 1/2 inch. And in the center is your, let me see which one goes on which side. So it looks like we have on page 2 this one, and really it doesn't matter which one you put on which side. This is how we have it in the directions. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little adhesive across the top and bottom. And center that. If you need to do exactly what it says in the instructions, it says 3 inches down from the top. But really, it's just kind of centered in the middle here. Or you can measure 3 inches down from the top if you want. If you work in exacts, I work in abouts, so I have it about 3 inches. And then we will do the same to this page. And I do these together because I like to line them up so that I make sure and have this right at the same level as the other page. Okay, so 1/2 inch from the top, 1/2 inch from the bottom. And the centered. Across the middle. If I'm talking a little bit quiet tonight, I'm doing this after my kids went to bed. So I was trying to get it done while they're sleeping. I do that most nights, or most times. Hopefully they stay in bed, otherwise they'll come say hi to you. Okay, so now that we have that going, we are going to layer our photo mats. And I'm just going to put these out here until I see that I have them in the correct spots. And then I'll pick them up, chop them, and adhere them to the page. I'm just kind of laying them out here. You can really just grab your instructions and kind of see how we have it laid out there. And you can move things around. So if it fits better with your pictures, you don't want to overlap anything, then that's fine too. You can move things around as you need to for your own photos. And then we'll match up the photo mats here. And if you want to chop these up, go right ahead. It'll look nice with the little chalk around the edges. Again, I'm using kind of orange to brighten mine up, but you use whatever works for you. We used mocha, I think, on the sample, but I think amaretto would look really nice on here as well. And some of the embellishments that we are going to put together, there is the inside of the suitcase and then the dark blue. It's a little bit fragile. So that's another thing I was going to mention too. Some of these are so skinny, you have to be very careful. We don't normally go this fragile and thin, but this just looked really nice with the really skinny lines. So what you can do is get this placed where you want it. Once you have it where you want it, then you glue this part down. Actually, let me bring that down just a little bit. And then put a few dots on here. And this just goes right on top of where you glued that down. And again, chalk things up as you go. This would look really nice with some green or blue chalked around the edges also. It kind of makes it stand out a little bit. We have two other little suitcases. And again, I have April Showers here, but I'm actually going to use Baja Blue and add a little darker blue to this. Go ahead and glue those down. You have your little journaling piece. It's going to go right under here. Your arrows. So there's two long blue arrows, and we actually have the one that's a little bit fatter, a little bit wider on this side. And if you want to do it like I do and just kind of place things out there until you see where you want them and then glue them down, you can. Otherwise, just glue them down as you go if you'd like to. This other blue skinny one goes on this side. There is 3 arrows, so there's two that are aqua colored. There's 2 longer ones and a shorter one. The shorter one goes across here. The longer ones go down the side. And you can overlap these if you want to, or spread them out so that they're not touching. Either way looks nice. This is the part that's really kind of intricate, and it's hard to get out of the laser, but it just looks really nice with that really fine writing on there. I have this overlapping a little bit on this end. And then this, I will just put, you don't have to have glue across the entire thing. What's nice about this glue too is that it does dry clear. So if it does come out on the edges a little bit when you put it down, it's not going to show. And then I just kind of start at one end and get your arrow lined up. And I have it offset just slightly so that it looks like that there is an aqua shadow behind it. You can line it up exactly if you want to on top of it, but I moved mine to the side so it kind of looks like a shadow. Okay, and then if you have these where you want them, you can go ahead and glue down your photo mats. There is a chevron that goes across the bottom. So if you don't have your photos in there yet, you want to make sure to not glue, you know, up and over this, because it'll be hard to put your photos in later. And we have our blue outline. Some of these inside ones we're actually going to flip over and use, so don't throw those away. I know we mentioned at the beginning of the instructions on the instruction sheet not to throw anything away, and we say that a lot because we use a lot of the scraps or the outside pieces, or like we did here with the frame, we kind of use the outside, the negative piece of it. Plus these that we don't use on this page would be great to use on another page. or maybe with your extra paper that you got in your paper pack. So once you have your photos in here, go ahead and glue this down where you want it. If you don't have your photos in, you may not want to glue this all the way down yet so that you can slide your photos in. I chalked up the edges on the instructions. We had it in the mocha color, but I'm going to use this orange. And then you just kind of go by the photos here. We have 2 of the greenish aqua color, 3 up here, and the tan goes in between. I would glue this down first where you want it, and then glue these into the inside. And there's a little strip of these guys here. Chalk those up. They go right inside there. Flip one of the blue ones over. Gets tucked inside. And if it doesn't fit exactly, you'll never tell. This one's a little bit off right there. You'll never be able to notice really. We have one that goes up here. And if you don't want to add all of these, or if you want to add something different, or an extra photo mat, you could tuck an extra photo mat in here or in behind here. You can use any of these pieces that you want. You don't have to make it exactly like mine. Okay, and then we use 3 of the blue ones. We just flip them over here. You glue down the outline first, the outline of the chevron, and then tuck these right on the inside. There should be 2 tan ones left. And you can just leave those like that if you want to. The reason that we actually have the tan ones to put in is because when we chalk them up, then you can tell it's a separate piece, not just that background that's shown through. So those ones you kind of want to chalk, make them stand out a little bit. You have 2 of the aqua ones. Chalk those up. And these go here. If you want to add, you can move this down. If you want to add another photo, you could there instead. We have one more. And if you've already glued this down and you don't quite have the space for this, you could always put it somewhere else too, right across the top. I have mine. Need a little more space right here. I'm just going to overlap it just like that with the space that I have. And that kit is done. I hope you have the perfect adventure photos to put in there. And I hope you enjoyed this new paper. There is a paper pack, should be online if you want this entire paper line. Should be online. If not, you can shoot us an email. We will be getting more in soon. I hope you enjoyed this kit, and I'll see you next time.